fucking day, and he gives me enough money to support a family and whatever. So that's what Captain is. Captain is a head shop, pipes, bongs, vaporizers, shit like that. Don't call it a bong if you come in. I'll kick your punk ass out. But
no, you know what? When I first walked in there, man, to your shop, when I first walked in there, it took me back to when I've been sober like 5 years now. So back when we were smoking pot and doing that thing, we used the metal pipes and we rolled joints and stuff. Yeah. And then I walked in there and you're selling like a ball of yarn to somebody.
Yeah, times have changed, dude. But that's the general rule: is the smoke gets better, and the products to use them are going to evolve. There's going to be a natural progression, and that's just the beautiful commerce enterprise of the world.
Was a ball of yarn, but Chris sees a $sign and sees a sucker that'll walk in there.
It's not a sucker though. I mean, really, the kids nowadays. I say kids.
What is that ball of yarn?
Yeah, explain what that is.
It's called beeline. Beeline is a beeswax dipped hemp rope, and what you do is you light the rope and then use its flame to light your bowl. That way, you're not directly huffing butane. The rumor is about 40% of the butane in a lighter burns. So what happens to the other 60%?
Yeah,
it goes right into your lungs. Now, the average person can be healthy enough for the seal in their lungs to kick it out and be fine, but imagine how much butane you've inhaled in your life. Imagine not ever inhaling that. Wow. Imagine having beeswax and hamstring, and when it burns, not putting out some toxic chemical. Yeah, there's carbon in it, but some toxic chemical that's going to affect you. You can get away from that, and all these kids now are smoking, concentrates and getting away from even the. Here goes work talk. Getting away from the crude combustion of the plant matter and just going straight for the oil and not getting any carbon or anything like that. So. If you're gonna smoke a pipe and not go for the wax or the oils or the butters or whatever, not go vapor, you might as well go with beeline.
Butters?
Yeah, it's just a when you're looking at the stuff I showed you.
Yeah.
There's different consistencies, and there's stuff that looks like what I showed you looks like an earwax.
Right.
That's actually called earwax.
Right. Okay.
And then there's stuff called butter because it's got the consistency of like a refrigerated butter kind of.
Really.
And it's called BUDDER butter, right? And then there's.
And you smoke it or do you eat it or?
You smoke it, but
both, right?
No, the butter. Don't get confused by the name. It's not for cooking.
Okay.
Because
I've heard of people like they
do make
dirt brownies, and they do the cookies.
That's just for the gnarly shit, bro.
Yeah.
You don't know shit about shit until you eat enough of that shit to get scared, and you will reevaluate the priorities in your life. You get scared on edibles, bro. You will know why marijuana is a hallucinogen.
Right. Okay.
Oh, scary shit, dude.
So getting back to the butter, you said it's spelled BUDDER.
Yeah, like if you go to the cannabis clubs, you're gonna see. It depends on what they want to call it. Just like all the different strains of fucking weed out there. It's all crap. They come up with stupid names.
Let's reel it back. When we went to high school, when you mentioned Captain Ed's, it was really romanticized.
Right.
It sounded like something. I want to figure out what this is.
There's something I can't explain about it. You walk into the stores and I'm going to guesstimate, it's going to be 70 feet long by 15 feet wide. It is small. Let's do the math. Not 1,000 square feet, maybe 1,200 square feet. It's dinky, and there's 3 of them, and none of them are really bigger than the others. The North Hollywood store is a little smaller, but it's wider, so the same. But there's some weird notoriety. There's acclaim.
There's nostalgia.
There is nostalgia. You can't. When I go to the conventions, I hide my badge, dude. Because I'm trying to get through the show and I'm trying to get work done, and I can't have people look at my badge and be like, "Oh, Captain Ed's." They want to talk to me for 20 minutes about this story, but I don't have time for this, dude. And it's weird when I go there that there's this weird celebrity, there's this weird acclaim to it that I work in a fucking head shop and somehow there's this celebrity status in the show. I do not pre-register for shows. I go there, I give them my identification and a business card. They go, "Captain Ed's," and an old dude behind the counter says, "Give that guy a badge."
It's like somebody who's into Call of Duty, that makes Call of Duty, that wants to go to a game show to learn about other games.
Yeah, he doesn't advertise he's going to be there. Yeah, he doesn't advertise he's going to be there. He's fucking celebrity there. And I don't try to hype up the store. I don't want to try to make it anything it is. I don't want to sound big-headed. I don't want to, be like, "I'm the shit I work Captain." There is something weird. There's something that I can't explain.
How were you introduced to Captain Ed's?
I've always known somebody that worked there since I was a little kid. Always. When I was in, when I was in probably 5th or 6th grade, my buddy Clint worked there. And Clint, he was single and alone. He lived in a camper on the back of his truck, and the truck, he would always park it in front of my house, and he was friends with my parents, and Clint worked there, and that was early junior high school. I was already smoking weed, so I'd always go there and hang out with Clint or whatever. Ed was still alive then, but I didn't have much conversation with him because he owned a head shop and he had to be careful with the cops, and this was a Reagan administration with the Just Say No campaign, and Ed Meese, the fucking
headquarters to the Grateful Dead.
Just commonly thought of as, yeah. And then when Clint still worked there, Ty started working there, and then Clint left, and then I got a job there at 19. Actually, I got a job at the swap meet booth at 19. And
back then, they used to sell the roach coop with the feathers on them.
Oh yeah, I sold some to the same dude, Jerry the Button Man. I sold them to the same guy that Ed bought him from. For 30 years, but I worked the swap meet booth for a year, an opening of the store. Worked the store for a couple of years. The manager had a falling out with the owner. He left. Next thing you know, I got a management position. I was 19, dude. I'm 36.
Wow.
So third job, I had a job selling shoes, and while I was doing that, I got a job at a moving company, just for a little gig. And after I left that, my next job was Captain Ed's, where I've been since. Why the fuck would I go anywhere, dude?
Yeah.
So as kids, we're talking about that place.
And we're going down there. And all of our friends that wanted bongs are like, all right, get Chris together, we'll all figure out what we want, we'll go down there.
He can get the discount.
Yeah, I'll gather all the money in the parking lot, give everybody the rules, what not to say, be cool,
Right.
Yeah.
And we get high there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I think Chris just went nostalgic for a second there.
I do this all the time.
So tell us about the contest. Let's get some urban knowledge.
Oh man, if those walls could talk, I'd be in
Underground
so
stuff.
much trouble, dude.
I got some stories to tell of my own. Chris got a lot of his friends to work there, so I've got some stories.
I don't hire my friends no more, dude. I don't hire my friends no more. There were a lot of things that go on at Captain Ed's that were like, that were I don't know, people were considered taboo, but one thing that we had for a long time, it might have been my fault that ended, but we had a tits and ass contest. And so what we would do is we kept a fully loaded Polaroid at all times. That's thanks to Ryan. If you know Ryan, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to go into much detail. Imagine a relationship. Tits and ass contest was, if you show your tits and ass, we're going to take a photo of each. We're going to put your name and number on the back of the photo. We're going to put it up on the wall so that nobody can see your name and number. And it's there for everybody to see. And then every like 5 or 6 months, we would get together, figure out who the winner was, call that person, they'd come down for a prize. One day I had the great idea of putting all the pictures on the counter and putting plastic over it. And then the owner saw it and thought it was in the face of the children, if parents had children with them, and made me take it off. And it kind of died after that. But yeah, the tits and ass contest was cool.
There never really was a winner, was there?
Oh yeah, several times. Yeah.
Really?
I would like to say, I would rather say no, fuck no, man. We were just trying to get pictures, but there was a winner a couple times. Absolutely.
A couple times.
I swear to God.
And it's been ongoing for how many years?
I don't know, 20 years. Yeah, every 5 or 6 months of the 5th or 6th year. Every time. Several times, guys came in and saw their chick on the wall and freaked.
I know those tits.
And that's why I don't want to hire like little dudes, because you'll get rolled over in that store, dude. And if you're not lucky, that store will chew your ass up and spit you right fucking out. Yeah. If you're not careful, man, if you like fucking gnarly hard drugs and realize that you're working at a head shop and you don't have to pay for that shit no more.
If you're working late at night at that store, the people that come in there, you get really nervous. There's no other business.
Not just nervous, but what if you want to be in their world? If you do that, 5 months go by and you're a shell of yourself and you're fucking smoking crack and that store's gonna spit you right out of the boulevard and you're fucked. Yeah. You just realize that you just lost a couple years of your life and now you're an addict. Now you're screwed, Yeah, I'm lucky that way.
Absolutely. It's a street element that comes in there, and if you're not familiar with the streets and you know how to survive out there.
Well, I was raised around those people.
Yeah.
So for me, it just, reminds me of my youth. Yeah. But
I was a little naive coming there. I remember one night A guy came in there. It looked like some dude that's visited also prison and knows what it's like to survive in there. And he walked in with his. He was all tatted up. His girl had some tattoos, and she looked beautiful. She looked like a stripper. And he came in, and he was all attitude, and he said the wrong things. And I had to refuse him business. And he got really upset. He started threatening me. He's like, he basically was trying to force me to do business, to sell him product. And there was a pistol at that time Chris had in the back office. And I said, just excuse me one moment. I walked back there, and I slipped in the back of my pants. And I walked out totally cool. And he absolutely knew what was going on.
Well, yeah, because now he sees that you just went from fear to safe in your eyes.
Right.
Yeah, he knows that shit. If you did time in prison, you're gonna realize once you see that dude's face, I'm no longer scared.
If his girl wasn't cool enough to talk sense to him, like just leave without causing a problem, it might have escalated. But that's not the kind of situation I was ever prepared for going into that kind of working environment.
Remember when the cops came there one time, and the cop goes, oh, Ryan says, man, if I, because something went down at the head shop, and Ryan goes down there, and he was manager at the time, and Ryan goes, I'll tell you right now, dude, if I was working when this happened, things would have gone a lot different. It'd have been bad. It'd have been bloody, you know? And cop goes, oh, I wouldn't work here without a gun on my hip. Ryan's all, can I do that? He's like, yeah, man, your business, your home, your campsite. He's all, absolutely, you know. Ryan's all, but I'm a felon. The cop's like, oh, no, you can't. No, you cannot do that. No.
Forget what I said.
Yes, yeah, totally. But the cop said, I wouldn't work here without a pistol on my hip.
Wow.
It's totally legal.
Yeah.
So after that, for a while, I kept my pistol on my hip. I'd hide it, so when I'd open up a case, I'd move my body so they couldn't see it. I didn't want them to feel uncomfortable, but you know, he's scared for a while. But you'll grow up in that store, dude.
There's now these pawn shops, you walk in there and you see right
Same
away.
kind of thing, dude.
You see it. They want you to see it.
Pawn shop owners kill motherfuckers, man.
They want you to see that.
Pawn shop owners will shoot you dead.
Yeah.
Shoot you dead in their store, dude.
Yeah.
And the cops will be like, right on.
Tell Marin and I about the girl with the double D's.
Oh man, that was so long ago. I gotta remember that one. Oh god, I don't know.
You've caught my attention, that double
Yeah.
D's.
I think all the guys do.
I'm waiting with anticipation.
Yeah, I think she was just over 18. I remember her and her friend. Her friend was fugly. And I remember I carded them, and both of them I looked at their IDs, and they were like 18 and like 2 months or something like that. And later on, you know, they're looking for a discount, whatever. I didn't mention anything, but remember those little things, the little homies. Remember those little action figures?
Yeah.
So we got one in our
Buying for
store.
25 cents out of a
Yeah, we had one in
pair.
our store. It's been there for it's been there for a decade, dude. We had one there, and it has this little sign that says "Show me your tits" or "Show your tits" or something like that. So they're like, "What's that? Show your tits." I was like, "Oh, we show your tits, you can discount here or whatever, blah blah blah." And I think the best way to do it is just don't mention it. Just let them talk amongst themselves because they get all giddy or whatever, you know. So they were talking about it. I think one time, eventually, I said something like, "You're just tits, dude. No thing, you know." But our store's very 60s and 70s, so you walk in, there's just free love feeling, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just tits, man.
Tie-dyes everywhere.
And eventually, they decided to show their tits, and the fugly one showed whatever. But the other girl, you could tell that she was very timid. She was very insecure about her body because she was wearing this big sweater and hiding herself. And she was pretty, and she had her face over her hair or whatever. But to watch her pull up that sweater and struggle to get her tits out, dude. I mean, struggle to wrestle them out of this fucking bra.
Priceless.
And then when she got him out, I mean, I didn't even have words, dude. I fucking reached over the counter and gave her a high five, dude. I swear to God, I reached over, I was like, high five her, just high five. I was like, darling, you've got 3, 4, 5 good years of those things left, maybe. I go, I don't know. I'm not trying to give you advice like what to do with them. I'm not saying go be as true. I don't know. I know we're gonna take advantage of them, but somehow there's gonna be something to do with these things, dude. You know?
How did you put it? The skin still fit?
Yeah, her skin still fit. It was amazing. Yeah. You're talking about 18-year-old 36 double D's,
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
When do you see those? You don't see those?
Not at my age.
You don't see those?
A couple of times you get to see those.
Yeah, if you're lucky. They're amazing. Yeah.
Or
But the
you get
cutest
arrested.
The cutest thing. Well, she only had them out for a couple seconds because she was modest. When she put them back, she was shaking and shivering because she was so nervous, and you could tell adrenaline was rushing. It was so cute, dude, to see her put it back. To see her all scared.
6 months
And
later,
when we
she's
give
on
her
the pole.
Yeah, totally. Future pole dancers of America. I think I gave her